And we're live.
But we can't start off without...
Welcome to It's a Nice Place to Brew with Jason and George, a show about all things beer and beer making. Gentlemen, please broadcast responsibly.
Yeah.
You'd think we would have upgraded that by now, wouldn't you?
What's wrong with that? That's 15 years from now when this show is it'll be the Taco Bell of the Demolition Man universe. It will be the only
boy.
brewing show
I got a
out
lot
there.
to say about that. Are we gonna start off on Demolition Man?
We certainly can. I have
Sure.
absolutely no problem with that.
I tell you, I just rewatched that movie about a month and a half ago, and I'll tell you what inspired it. I thought because of the COVID situation, certain things are taboo that didn't used to be.
True.
Case in point, handshaking. Well,
Right, the whole...
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I remember that. I was like, holy shit, we're going right into that. And sure enough, because there was 4 or 5 people in the house when it was playing, and right when they went to that scene where they went like this, everyone just fell on the floor. And fast forward to now, the story broke that they're making the sequel.
They're making a sequel?
The news just broke, I think, today.
Oh,
You didn't see that?
No.
Oh, Google it. Demolition Man 2.
Wow.
Yeah.
Demolition Man 2's coming up.
Shut the fuck up. Who's
I'm serious. I'm not making that up.
Jason saw it.
now?
I don't know.
On what?
I
Some
don't
website.
know.
Well, turn it on.
He doesn't know either.
I need answers.
All right. She needs answers.
Immediately? Okay. All right. I'm
Let me
typing. This is already a great intro to the show.
Oh, it's spectacular. Who cares what we're drinking?
Yeah, exactly. Here you go. Okay, Nerdist. Okay, the story
Nerdist.
broke 5 hours ago.
Okay.
It says Demolition Man 2 is happening.
And Sly
There you go.
Stallone is confirmed for it.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Not making this up.
It's you see?
You're not letting me listen to him.
Well, because there's going to be echo and stuff, so it can't really. But... I can't. Well, it's too bad Wesley Snipes can't. Well, unless there's like some kind of cloning technology and they bring him back.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Huh. That's interesting.
Think Rob Schneider's going to be in it?
I mean,
Yeah.
I think there'd be an outpour of support for him to join.
What's your name?
Sandra
You know
Bullock.
what? I just realized, Sandra Bullock. Yeah, you know what I just realized is Rob Schneider was in 2 different Sly Stallone movies. He was in that and Judge Dredd.
Oh, we can just forget about Judge Dredd.
Why would we forget about I Am the Law?
It's an
You can't
awful
forget
movie.
about
It's an awful
It's one of
movie.
those that's so bad it circles back around to being good.
That's a fair statement. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we did a deep dive on this.
Yeah.
All right, let's give a proper intro.
All right.
Welcome to A Nice Place to Brew. I'm Jason.
And I'm George.
This is our Monday, May the 4th. Yes, May the 4th episode. We broadcast every Monday and Thursday at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern Time on the YouTube channel. Check out our YouTube channel for all of our past episodes. We have a website at www.aniceplacetobrew.com, and our social media links across Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter are at A Nice Place to Brew and Nice Place to Brew.
Okay.
I didn't forget anything, did I?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Got the website, got the social media, yeah.
Good. All right. I think we're going to do a deep dive on Big Brew Day, the aftermath. Before we do that, George, what are you drinking?
I have from Commonwealth, I have the Blackberry Lemon Sour IPA with lactose. I've drank this one before, but I'm taking a
Yes.
little break from my homebrew, doing that a couple times, and I drank that over the weekend while I was brewing, so I'm taking a little break from that.
Good deal. All right.
Yeah.
I'm starting off big.
Okay. What is 1050?
And Fitty.
Okay.
So I'm going from 0 straight to a 10% beer, and this might be a short show. We'll see. Or at least a sloppy show very quickly. We shall
You
see.
might not remember part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I guess the one caveat to this, and I should probably mention this before I take my first sip at the off chance that Oscar Blues gets mad at me for this. This has been in the fridge for quite some time. So
Okay.
there's always a time factor with beer, certain
There is.
styles more than others. So
When you
I guess
say
the
quite
first-
some time, though, I mean, how long are we talking?
I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
You found it in the back, dusted it off.
Yeah,
and-
pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Oh,
And if that
man.
hasn't been echoed loud enough on previous episodes, do not ever do that with an IPA. If you have an IPA can that's been in the back of your fridge, you got to dust some crap off before you take it out of your fridge. Don't even bother taking a sip. Just open
Yeah.
it, empty it, throw it in the recycling bin.
It's probably not going to be good. Yeah.
Yeah. I had a conversation with a guy who's very involved in the beverage industry a couple months ago,
Mhm.
and he was a wealth of knowledge. I mean, a wealth of knowledge. It would be great to get him here on the webcast, if it's possible. But he mentioned a specific window for IPAs, and he said very specifically, don't drink an IPA that's more than like 75 days after its brewing date.
Oh, wow. That's short.
Yeah, it is very short. Yes.
Hmm.
But it's not insane because bars and restaurants, they're turning kegs relatively quickly, and retail shelves are relatively the same too.
No, I mean, it certainly is doable. I mean, the magic, area for beer is once you typically get over 3 months on a commercial, like if you have a beer that's 3 months old,
Mhm.
it starts to decline. I've not heard that IPAs do that faster, but it may very well be.
Mhm.
So, but remind me real quick, what is 1050? Is that it's obviously a dark beer? Is that a stout?
Imperial Stout, 10%.
Imperial stout. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And I can take back all I said about not knowing what condition this was going to be. This first step was very good.
Yeah, okay.
Time has been kind to. Hey,
Hey guys,
Hey.
what's up, Scott? How you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Excellent.
Yes,
Happy
we
May the 4th.
May the 4th be with you too.
Always.
We and also with you, for our Catholic friends.
They don't say that anymore.
I know, and with your spirit. What is that? Unexpected Mulaney. But anyway, Scott, we were just talking about, and have you heard? Because I feel like you need to be in on this too. Have you heard they're doing a Demolition Man 2?
Oh, I just saw that today. Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have
I
never
just
seen
found out.
Demolition Man 1.
You've never seen it?
No, that and Star Wars, as we've
Right.
already brought up
Yes.
before.
Yeah.
I recommend Demolition Man first.
All right.
That's my personal take.
Yeah.
I rewatched that movie about a month and a half ago, and it holds up really well.
It does. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is true. Yeah.
So,
All right.
how was your weekend?
Me?
Yeah.
My weekend was very good. Beautiful weather here.
All right.
Good.
Very
Yeah.
good.
On Sunday, yesterday, I think it was 65 and sunny, which is
Wow.
great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We hit about 75 here, so.
Okay.
yeah.
Very nice. Well, we're ready to dive into our big brew day experiences.
We
Um,
are.
Excellent.
you brewed as well, correct?
Me, I did not. No,
You
I
did
had
not?
plans, and then I was not able to pick up my base grain in time.
Oh boy.
Okay.
You know what? I had the same experience. I had to push off my brew day because I didn't have all my hops. I had
Mhm.
everything except that, and just couldn't substitute. So,
Well,
wow. All right.
Yeah.
So, man,
I know.
yeah. So at
My
least
big
one,
brew day?
of us. Yeah, George has been so. No pressure, George.
right? Yeah. No, it went really well. I've talked a good amount about the new Herm system and that I was going to try it out on Big Brew Day. And
Your
man, I'll
pictures
tell
you posted were awesome too.
you, yeah,
Very
no,
well done.
it came out so much better than I expected. That manifold that I made worked really well, and I'll tell you what, when you do a Herm setup, I don't know if this was just what happened here or what, but that was some of the clearest wort I've ever seen going into my kettle.
And the trick
Excellent.
was that just that constant recirculation you were doing.
I'm guessing just set the grain bed really well, and it was super clear, super dark because it's a nice dark porter, but
Right,
it was
right.
super clear going into. So there's no looking back for me. I'm sticking with that.
Well done. Well
Yeah.
done. What's up, Polly?
Hey guys, how are we doing?
How's it
Very
going?
well.
Good,
Bi-
good.
Diving into Big Brew Day. How was your brew day?
It was good. It was really good. Russian Imperial Stout. Our efficiency was a little low, but whatever. That's what happens when you start at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I started drinking early. So,
Nice.
You started your brew day at 3 o'clock in the afternoon?
yeah.
Oh,
Probably
wow.
2 something like
Wow.
that. And Sean, I was brewing with Sean, and he had to work at 7:30.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
by the
Okay.
time he got home and cleaned up and ready to brew, it was like 3 o'clock by the time we got moving. You
Man.
know?
Dang.
I feel like an old man.
I
That's
did as much as I could to help set up, but you know, everyone sets themselves up in their own little way. So I did all the silly stuff and let him
Totally.
set up his stand. You know.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I started
Wow.
my day around noon.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, pretty usual start time for us when we were doing things. So
You're usually done
Yeah, I
in
think
what,
I was-
6 hours?
actually, I think I was done by like 5.
Not. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Not well done.
It was only a 60-minute boil, and I was clipping right along, and everything just went really well. So
Nice. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, Polly, starting at 3, how long did it go?
I didn't look at the clock when we were done.
Yeah.
It was
No.
dark.
it was
It was
dark.
dark. Yeah, exactly. It would be. Would be.
I honestly didn't look at the clock. I was one of those. By the time we were done, I was like, all right, let's get out of here. It's been a long day.
Yeah.
We
Right.
actually-
I totally
Sean's
get
wife,
that.
Sean's wife drove us up to the pub, and we sat on the patio and had a beer on the patio just for shits and giggles.
Okay. Polly, did you see my video of my Herm system in action?
No, I didn't. Did you post it on the social club, or is it on this page?
I posted
It's on a nice
the
place to brew page.
A nice place to brew page.
Okay.
But I can pull it up because I was gonna show. Oh wait, profile. That's what I wanted. Media. Yeah, and Scott, I think I figured out that I'm not gonna blow the cows up, so I think they're gonna be all right.
Did you read the article? Did you read the article?
I did, and I was a little concerned, but I think they're gonna be all right.
What's the story?
I'll get to that in a second.
okay. All
but,
right.
yeah,
Oh,
let
I'm
me share.
intrigued.
Oh yeah, you got me really confused. Oh, Scott, the soda is actually really good.
Yeah. Yeah. The Thornberry, Scott, thank you very much. It really is good. And Scott has muted. George, is this your screen that's loading?
All right, I'm sorry. Yeah, Loganberry, it's a taste. Lots of people around here like it. I think it's a little too sweet. I'm thinking about making a Loganberry wine with it.
Oh, that would
I
be
can see-
delicious.
So is this a berry that grows native to the Buffalo area?
I don't know. I know Loganberries are a real thing.
It's
Okay.
a hybrid between raspberries and blackberries.
Yeah.
I did look that up.
One of the local breweries, we're talking to the owner on the next episode of West New York Brews. One of their flagship beers, one of the beers that they launched with, was a Loganberry wheat. So they make a wheat beer with some Loganberry. And I don't know if you've tried the sponge candy yet, but they do a sponge candy stout.
Oh, is that what the candy was that you said
Yeah.
too?
Yep. sponge
Okay,
candy.
because I saw it and I was a little concerned. I'm like, I'll wait until I talk to him. I may have eaten one drunkenly the other night because we were playing half eaten one in the kitchen.
Hey guys, sorry about that.
It's all
My
good.
computer locked up. My Chrome locked up on me. So, but anyway, I will show you. I'll show you that when I as soon as I can. So
I love the idea of making a wine out of that Loganberry.
Yeah, I have extra because I'm not going to drink it. I don't like it.
Like, I mean, do they have Loganberry farms? Like, is it grown in big quantities?
I don't know. You buy it in cans or you buy the syrup and you mix it yourself around here.
Okay.
I don't know.
That's interesting. Okay.
okay, now I think I can show you guys, and it won't lock up. I'm hoping.
Loganberry Farm. Find the closest one to me.
All right. So you can see it's coming out of the bottom of my mash tun through my pump, in through the coil. The sous vide was maintaining the temperature, going up. One last temperature check, and then right in through the manifold.
Awesome.
Nice.
And that was my Herm setup.
Nice.
If you
Yeah.
notice, I had to MacGyver one piece. My sous vide was right up against the coil. So you see right there, little
Yeah.
piece of of PVC piping, just offsetting that in there a little bit, and that was that's what's holding that in there. So
Just to give it some distance from the wall.
just to give it some distance from the wall. Otherwise, the sous vide was right up against the coil, and I didn't want it to be that way. So
Yeah.
I just put a little bit of PVC in there to offset it. So
That's a really impressive setup.
Excuse me.
Nice.
yeah.
Nice.
You were quite the engineer, George.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
The thing about that, now you just saved the whole Vorloff thing because you've been Vorloffing the whole time and go straight to collection.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, it definitely made it was definitely apparent in the system because, like I said, the wort that I pulled out of that mash tun, super like crystal clear, and I was very happy with that. So
That's the
But
best.
yeah.
That's the best when you see your work come crystal clear.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I had that happen. Last time I had that happen before, it was one of those things I forgot about. I was brewing my hazy for the very first time when I won at Will County, and it came out like crystal clear and brown. I got so scared. I was like, "Oh no!" But after the boil and everything, it hazed up and everything. But when I first saw it coming out, 'cause I'm like, "Oh, I got to see this color." I'm like, "Looks like every other color of beer." Now I'm scared what I screw up on.
Yeah. So, Scott, I do have, since you were kind enough to send it to us, Jason, I have not received yours yet, but I do have these guys,
Yes.
so we
Okay.
can try that. My wife already tried one of the candies. She didn't want to do it on air because she's like that, and she had some interesting comments on it. So when we're ready to do that,
First
I'll
of
let
all,
you know.
There's normal sponge candy in Buffalo too, which is just milk chocolate
Okay,
with the sponge candy. But this is orange chocolate,
right,
which a lot of people in Buffalo like.
okay.
So this is a specialty sponge candy. I
Okay.
actually, I really like orange chocolate, but my wife does not.
Okay.
That's
I have
odd.
not tried the
Yeah.
chocolates yet. Are you going to do an on-air tasting?
Yes.
Yes. All right.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
That was the deal, right? So
Yeah.
I don't.
yeah.
I don't have any at the house. I have some of the Loganberry, but the place where I shipped it from, he sells chocolate in the shipping place.
Okay.
So I said, "Hey, you got any orange chocolate sponge candy?" He said, "Yeah, I do." Like, all right, here's where I need you to send it. So I don't have any.
All right.
So
right on.
because I didn't know, how perishable they are, I did throw them into the fridge. I don't know if that's normal.
Oh, that's fine.
If
Yeah.
that's fine. All right.
That's what I did too.
I did too. I'm lucky I was home when the package came because I was getting ready to go run some errands, and UPS pulled up at my house, and I'm like, "Who's delivering me a box?" I had to open up to see because I couldn't see the return address on there. I had to open up and see what it was. I'm like, "Oh, okay, this is what it is." So it
Did
kind
you-
of reminds me of like a Heath bar. Like
A
the
Heath bar,
consistency of
like
a
the
Heath
top.
bar. But not the flavor, but like the inside consistency.
Okay.
Crunchy.
I
I
never,
like it.
I never was a fan of Heath bars because I don't like toffee. Not a big fan of toffee.
Yeah. I haven't ate candy much at all in the past
Okay.
few years, so this is a nice treat for me.
Nice.
Jason, do you have yours?
I do not. It's up in the fridge. Should I go make a run?
Okay.
Actually,
Make a
you
run.
know, I will.
Bro, eat it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but there's other soda I have to save for later because I can only have one of these bad boys a night. So that
yeah.
was really
So, holy
good.
crap!
Lot.
I've not looked at this before. This is 92% of your daily recommended value of sugars.
It does. Like I said, it's super sweet.
That is intense.
A couple of
Okay.
people, a couple of restaurants around here make loganberry wings as well, where they will add the loganberry to the sauce.
Okay.
Ooh, that's
But
interesting.
yeah, it's a little sickeningly sweet for me.
Okay. Well, here it goes. All right. So, Loganberry, open. Nice bouquet.
Pour in a glass.
I don't have a glass, otherwise I would. Just to be that guy.
Should be purple.
It's so
It is.
light. It's like weightless.
You know what? For as sweet as it is,
The sponge candy?
I-
Yeah.
yeah, it's super light. For the Loganberry, as sweet as it is, I think the tartness of the Loganberries themselves balance that out because it doesn't really taste that sweet, like cloyingly sweet. But you can definitely tell there's a lot of sugar in there.
Right.
I agree.
All right, sponge candy. Did not expect that.
There's
I expected
you
like
can
a circus.
absolutely ruin sponge candy.
How?
If you because you make the sponge first, you boil. I'm looking it up right now. You boil sugar and corn syrup, butter and salt until it reaches hard crack. Then you carefully stir in baking soda and vanilla. Then you let it sit, and then you chop that up and then cover it in chocolate. And if you do that wrong and it burns a little bit and you get the burnt sugar taste in there,
Right. Yeah.
that's no good. Your sponge candy's no good. Or if it doesn't inflate enough.
So when you said sponge candy,
So Resurgence,
Resurgence, what about?
the brewing company, Resurgence actually throws sponge candy into their stout. So it's not just that they're going for the flavor, although they are. They actually add a significant amount of actual sponge candy into the stout.
I wonder how much of that flavor carries over. That'd be interesting.
And it's a great stout. On one of the episodes of West New York Brews last year, the owner of Resurgence brought out. I went to Resurgence, me and the Buffalo Beer League, and he brought out a vertical of all of the sponge candy stouts that they've made over the years.
Oh, nice.
And it was phenomenal. Like here's 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. And he's explaining the differences between each one. Like we tried this on this one, and then we thought we wanted it sweeter the next year, or we thought we wanted more, graham cracker flavor in it the next year. And it was fun to try.
I think I listened to that one. Didn't one or two of them go sour on you?
Yeah. One or two of them was like, yeah, that's no longer. Or that was a bad batch. That was a bad batch back when we made it. I don't remember what happened or something like that. I don't know. I was
Right,
drinking.
Yeah. Right. No. Yeah, I get it. So I'll
That's what
tell
I say for every episode.
with this sponge candy, when you said you called it sponge candy, I don't know why, but I was picturing like the consistency of a circus peanut, not like a crispy
Okay.
kind of consistency. So I was very surprised by that.
Yeah, no, crispy.
Yeah.
Crispy's a good word. What's the what? Can't think of anything else that kind of crunches like that. That's
It's just-
edible.
It's so light. That's I mean,
It is.
I would almost describe it this way: take a Butterfinger, but make that buttery inside super light. I feel like that's the best way I could describe it.
Airy. It's very airy.
Airy. That's a good word for
That's
it.
that's
Yeah.
good.
So my wife, when she tried it, she brought up so Southern Tier, the New York brewing company, they have a beer called the Chocolate Orange.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I really enjoy it. I like it a lot. My cousin's wife tried it, and she was not a fan, and she said in a slightly drunken stupor, "It makes my mouth angry." And that was her comment on it. It was just that it made her mouth angry. And so when she tried it, she's like, "This tastes like that beer that made her mouth angry." And I was like, "All right, that's good to know."
Now again, Southern Tier is a Western New York company, so them making an orange chocolate stout makes a lot of sense.
It sure does. Now that I know that, yeah.
Yeah, maybe 48 minutes drive from my house.
Okay. Well, if we get up there, we'll definitely have to stop by because Jason and I are both fans of Southern
Yeah,
Tier. So.
huge fan of Southern Tier.
In some places, it's the even in places that don't have craft beer, around here you can be pretty guaranteed to get a Southern Tier at the very least.
Well, they're almost
what?
a national brand at this point. So
Yeah, they're pretty close.
yeah, and they're still
Well,
independent.
yeah, they are.
Yeah.
They're partnered with Victory out of Pennsylvania, but they're
Okay.
What
they're
city
together.
in New York are they in?
Lakewood.
And is that part of the greater Buffalo area, or are you into a different area at that point?
Let's say it's Western New York.
Western New York? Okay.
That's
fair
part
enough.
of the Southern Tier, which
Oh, is that where the name comes from?
yeah,
Ah.
that's in the Southern Tier.
Okay. Oh,
What was I going to say about them? Oh, I was Saturday night. We were talking to Big Ditch Brewing, which I should just send you guys Buffalo beer because there's some really good Buffalo beer. It used to be you go out anywhere, even if they don't have craft beer, they would have a Sam Adams. Be like, oh, what do you got?
Okay.
Oh, we got Coors, we got Bud Light, we got a Sam Adams. Yeah, give me a Sam Adams. And then it became Southern Tier, where everywhere we got Coors, we got Bud Light, and we got Southern Tier. Well, give me the Southern Tier. And now around Buffalo, it's all Big Ditch. It's all Hayburner is the name of the beer. It's an IPA. So
Okay.
doesn't matter where you go. Like, what do you got? Well, Coors Light, Bud Light. We got Hayburner. Like, yeah, give me the Hayburner. Bring it on.
Huh.
Interesting.
I stopped in a place in Niagara Falls a couple of years ago, and it was a dive bar that my band was playing in. And he goes, "What can I get you to drink?" Like, what do you got? He goes, "We got Blue Light, Molson, and Bud Light." I said, "You got any IPAs?" And he goes, "I'm what?" Like, whew. Okay, what about a Sam Adams? He goes, "No." Like, okay, that was my bad for asking if he had Sam Adams after you didn't know what an IPA was. That was on me. That's my fault.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll take the heat on that one.
Right? Yeah, blue Light, please. Let's forget that ever happened.
That is way more common than anybody would think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are certain places in certain parts of the country that have not adapted at all to the craft scene.
And this,
No,
I mean,
that's true.
IPA. He's a bartender. Like, what do you mean? You don't know what an IPA is?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bit much.
I'd still attribute that to what region he's in more so than
Yeah.
more so
Or
than
maybe he
anything.
was
But even
messing with
so,
me. I don't
yeah.
know. Like, I don't know this guy. What do you mean IPA?
You're not from here, are you?
That's right. Niagara Falls. was
I
only
purposely
one
did not do an
hour
accent when I said that.
That's
Not trying
smart.
to piss anybody off.
Yeah. Oh man. So
I am drinking. I held up the can before you guys
you did.
came on. Yes. So let's just go through the formalities. Scott, what are you
Sure.
drinking?
I haven't yet. I'm waiting for the one that was sent to me.
Okay. Polly, what are you drinking?
Hailstorm Stratus.
Okay.
What style is the Stratus?
What?
What
What
style
style?
is the Stratus?
Oh, it's one of their hazies. It's their Cloud series. It was the first of the three hazies they came out with. They had a Stratus,
Oh.
Cumulus, and a Nimbus. One of them was
Oh.
like a lighter one. The Stratus, I believe. This is a high one. It's 8%. So this is a higher one. They got like a 5, 6.5, and an 8. So this is their 8.
Okay.
Okay.
Right on.
It's actually pretty good.
Nice.
One of the first hazy beers I started getting it that got me into hazy beers.
Okay. I've not had a hazy from Hailstorm yet. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Hailstorm's 15 minutes from my house, so.
Right.
True.
Right. No, I've been there plenty of times myself. I am drinking 1050. So I am going from
1050.
no beer to diving right into a 10% can.
Two
So-
lots
Beautiful.
beer. Yeah.
There you go. I'm proud of you, Jason.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
And I've
We'll
got
see how I am in 20
magic
minutes.
I got magic scones from Commonwealth Brewing Company, which is a blackberry lemon sour IPA with lactose. So it's a local one near me.
Right on.
Could you get Wicked Weed down by you a lot, George?
Do we get? I'm sorry. What now?
Aren't they from Nashville? Wicked Weed?
Possibly.
I think they're down by you. In fact, what?
Yeah.
Wicked weed.
Possibly. Yeah. That sounds.
Okay.
It sounds familiar, but I'm not really. I don't really know that much.
Now,
I've
Wicked
seen them-
Weed,
I've
they're
looked for them the past 2 fullbacks.
Asheville.
ABV.
Oh, okay.
They're AB InBev.
Are they?
Are they?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Well, then we hate them. I guess. I don't
I agree.
Okay, so fuck them.
No, that's not fair. That's not fair. Yeah. So, but anyway, dropping back to Big Brew Day, I tried to put out as much as I could for everybody so you could see what's going on. Unfortunately, I couldn't go live on at the time, and so I didn't do that, but I tried to make sure that each of the parts that everybody could see what was going on, and I actually ended up making a porter. I also was missing some grains, so I had to improvise a little bit there. I ordered but did not receive chocolate malt, so I had some chocolate malt left over, but not enough, so I threw in a little bit of roasted barley to make sure I had the color and everything. But it came out, and I think it's gonna be all right. The experiment with the older grains worked. I think I did lose a little bit of efficiency because of the older grains, but even so, it came out, and I think that the numbers will be good.
Gravity. You hit it?
Excellent.
Gravity, I did hit it. I was a little low on volume, but the gravity I hit, it was 1050, 1052.
Okay. All right. So are you
I wanna
going
say.
for,
Yeah.
for just
So-
a classic English porter? Is that what you're going for?
Yes, that's
Okay.
the plan. The classic English
All right.
porter. So it should be nice and sessionable.
Okay.
And
All right.
judging by what I'm seeing, crystal clear. So,
Nice. Nice.
and then Sunday morning, as is my habit the next day to do a starter, I did that, and here's it, decanting out and everything. You can see got a nice sizable yeast cake there.
Okay.
And
All right.
and I put on let me see if I can share my screen again, because I put up on Twitter from my stir plate.
Have you not pitched yet?
No, I have not. I'm gonna do that after.
Oh.
Yeah. But take a look at that. That's my starter as of this
Wow.
morning.
Yeah, you know what? I had one starter that did just that, and
Yeah.
that goes to the flocculation rate
That's-
of the yeast. That's what that is.
But it's definitely a nice strong starter, and I've got a nice sizable yeast cake, so I'm pretty happy about. I'm pretty sure it's gonna take off once I pour it in.
What kind of yeast is that?
It is London Ale from White Labs.
Oh, from okay.
Yeah.
That is not the same one that I used that created that same effect, but
Yeah.
yeah. I freaked out when I first saw my starter do that.
Yeah.
So I freaked out. Like I posted it up to a couple of message boards, and I got a couple of comments that were not quite accurate, and then one guy just said, "Just calm down. You're fine. That's specific to your
You'll
yeast."
be all right.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
just keep it on the starter at least 24 hours, like they always advise you to do, and
Yeah.
you'll be fine.
Yeah. So that's definitely what I did. I definitely kept it on the starter for. It was about 24 hours. So.
Okay.
But yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
I usually aim for
Yeah. Polly.
maybe this is a best practice, but my aim with a starter is usually about 48.
Okay. All right.
What
Polly,
were
do
asking,
you
George?
do a starter?
It
with your beers?
depends. It depends on. A lot of it depends, like because if my yeast is like under 4 weeks old, I usually won't. But if it's like anywhere from like 5 weeks on, I definitely will. Sometimes
Okay.
if I'm lazy, like like keep in mind where my employment is, I have unlimited resources, and again, it's
Sure,
cheap.
sure.
So
Yeah.
so sometimes I'll just throw 2 packets of yeast in there if I don't want to make a starter.
Sure,
2
sure.
packets of yeast is probably just like what, maybe $2 or $3 more for me. And
For you.
have you tried those? Yeah, for me, like I said. For me. Have you tried those proper cans yet? That I think Y Yeast is making. I think Jason, you bought a couple of those. Didn't you?
No.
I did.
Oh.
Yeah, the
Okay.
16 ounce
What did you think
starters
of
in a can. What were you say, Paulie?
What'd you think of that? Was it easy to use?
It's super easy, and that's what you're paying for with those. Is it's a lot of time saved from having to have to boil a liquid with DME and then chill and then bring down to a temperature that you can pitch. The alternative is you could buy one of these cans, and there's they're not. I wouldn't describe them as cheap. I mean, I think it comes. You buy them in 4-packs, and I think it comes out to $3 to $4 a can. But the process is you pop a can open, you swirl it, pour it, add a 16-ounce bottle of water, and pitch. That's it. There's no boil, there's no cooling, no none of that.
You pitch for your starter, and yeah.
Yes, exactly. And what the can does,
It's just chilled wort. It's cans. That's all it is.
yeah, exactly.
Right.
And it's packaged specifically that you'll get a gravity of 1040 out of it.
Nice.
Huh. Okay.
So it's a
Have you tried
great
drinking it?
That's what I would say about it. I mean, it works just as well as if you created one at home. It saves time. That's it.
Okay.
What
Yeah,
what
I've
are-
not
what
used
else-
one of those.
Yeah, what else do people say about that, Paulie?
I haven't heard any bad things back from customers that I've sold it to yet. Everyone likes it. I've got people that come in and buy it by the 4-pack because that's how much they like it.
Yeah,
Joe.
I have.
Joe and Bill, they buy them by the 4-pack like every other week. 'Cause them guys are brewing it every freaking day.
That's true. Yeah, they are brewing all the time.
Well,
I mean, those kids are
I
such
mean-
an inspiration.
Oh, those guys, those young guys at the club. Well, listen to me. you
Yeah,
young
yeah.
guys.
I met
Yeah,
them.
but you know who I'm talking about. Yeah, there's 4 guys that are like in college or something, and they see.
No,
they-
no, not them. No,
Not those guys.
different group of young
Okay.
guys. Yeah. Those young guys right out of college, they don't come around anymore, which makes me sad.
Oh, that's
I
about
like,
right.
I
I like
like
them.
Are you
Yeah,
talking about Nate the redhead
Yeah.
kids and all them guys?
Yes.
Yeah, I know. I'm upset they don't come around.
Yeah,
yeah.
So this guy, I met this kid at a fish concert in the parking lot. My buddy, he goes on the road and sells pizza breads all the time. Like Big Dead and fish run, he's usually out doing that. That's his summer job. And he one time when I was sitting there hanging out with him, and he's like, "You want to get to know this guy? These guys were on there for last year or a year and a half ago, and their goal was 52 batches in 1 year, and they hit it. They were literally one batch a week every Saturday. They were brewing, and they started off as doing kits, extract kits like we all did, and then I slowly but surely helped them into getting all grain equipment too. So
How
kids like that really inspired me. So
what size batches were they making?
I think 5 gallons.
what? 5?
Were they making 5-gallon batches
5 gallons
each
5
week?
gallons
Yeah.
every Saturday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Dang,
Yeah.
that's intense.
Crazy rate.
I thought we were intense with our 1 a month schedule. You
We
know,
kind of were, and we were well. I mean, think about how long we were supplied for just brewing at that rate.
I know, right? Yeah. And then at one point we got in over our, well, not in over our heads, but we got over ambitious, and we're like, we can make 10 gallons and not have excess beer. That was a lie.
Yeah, exactly. We had a whole lot of beer.
Yeah.
A lot of which went bad.
Not a lot, but enough. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, live and learn. That's all you do.
Oh man, that's intense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
So
literally on your days you aren't brewing, you're either bottling or kegging or moving over, secondary
Right.
dry hopping.
There's
Literally
always
drinking.
something.
itself.
Always something.
Yeah. Jeez, might as
Even
well
if
open
you have a
brewery
lot of
then.
automation.
Oh yeah, I had. Well, most
Yeah.
of my stuff was either hand me down or I built it myself. So, like I got lucky. I went kegging right off the get go. I had to go on YouTube videos to learn how to bottle and bottle condition and stuff like that. I first carbonated was bottling off the bottle with beer guns and counter pressure fillers right off the get go.
George,
So
do
I
you,
give
do you
people
remember?
bottle conditioners a lot more credit because they know I usually go to them with my bottling questions.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
George, do you remember our first bottling day
Oh, that was a shit show.
with the plastic bottles and the carb tablets?
Yeah.
Mr.
Yeah.
Beer Kit? Mr. Beer Kit?
Yeah. Well,
I had
it
one
was.
of those. Actually,
It
that
was
the
pretty
very
much a
first
Mr.
batch.
Be-
I got this-
Yeah.
ahead.
It was pretty much a Mr. Beer Kit. And I remember we threw 3 and 4 tablets in there, and it did
Yep.
nothing.
Yep.
It didn't
Yep.
carbonate it at all.
Yep. That is
Mine
true.
got carbonated a little bit, but because I actually had the Mr. Beer Kit given to me for a birthday gift, and that was when there was a homebrew store. I don't know if you know who Marty Nachel is. He's the guy that wrote Homebrewing for Dummies. He had a store in Tinley Park, so I'd go there to get my DME and stuff like that. And yeah, I remember I used the 2-liter bottles with the twist-on caps and everything. Like when I cracked my very first time, I'm like, it was kind of conditioned, not really, but.
Yeah.
And then when I started reading that book, I got really scared because it sounded real technical. And then once it was kind of funny now that I've learned how to brew. That's kind of like my go-to if I ever have any questions because the way it's broken down. Like they had it all broken down into subcategories and all that. So
Yeah.
it's a real
So
easy reference.
when you said our first bottling day, that's actually not the one I was thinking of, Jason. The one I was thinking of was the first time that we did it into the glass bottles out of that other plastic container with the and that's where the whole concept of the 0 drop bottling day came from, because that first day was not a 0 drop bottling day.
Well, in all fairness, we had several bottling days that were not 0 drop bottling days.
That is true. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I remember
Yeah.
the plastic bottles and the droplets more specifically because that was the one and only time we ever did that. And just with the output and what that created, just with the no carbonation, you and I were both like, this cannot be the way that we do this. So
No, there's got to be a better way.
yeah, exactly.
And then we learned about throwing corn sugar in the bottling bucket and mixing it up. Yeah. 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 Good
we
times.
did.
good
I tell you, we
times.
did that for a long time.
We did that for a while, and then you and I were like, screw it, we're gonna invest in some kegging equipment, and then we never looked back.
Yep. Yeah. But even
Yeah.
so, I mean, I think we had a solid year where everything that we made went into bottles.
Yeah. Yeah. And you remember trying to carbonate the kegs in my basement at like 58 degrees?
Mm-hmm.
We had to turn that. We went through so much CO2, Polly, because we had to turn that up to like some ridiculously high number to really get it to carbonate.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
Until
is that your targeted at room temperature?
at first
was.
we did.
At first we did it. It was
Okay.
like at basement temperature, which was a little cooler, but it was still like mid to high 50s most of the time, and it was. So we had to turn our regulators up to I think like 30 or 35 for a while to get it to carbonate.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I was going through some brewing stuff the other day, and I just found my top that's got the carb stone on it. So I'm gonna bust that thing out. That's another toy that I bought a long time ago because you can bottle it, you can have it carbonated in like, I don't know, 2 hours, 3 hours. The only downfall is that carb stone just stays in there.
Right. I have one of those
change
too, and I didn't have good luck with it. So I kind of went back to the more traditional carbonation method, but maybe I should try it again.
Yeah, I mean, what temperature, what pressure did you have it at?
I don't remember. It was a while ago when I tried that. I do not remember. Yeah, it's a carb stone with a gas standoff connected to the lid of my keg. So yeah, a little piece of that's it. So
I don't know. I always set mine at like 30, 35. Check it after 2 hours, and then if you want to let it go for a little bit longer, you can always let it go for a little bit longer. And the one beautiful thing is I think one time I didn't have I think I had a post leak it or something like that, and so it all bled out and went flat. So I just tightened up the post and got it to seal again, and just recarbed my beer and called it a day. That was actually one of the nicest things right there. Beat all the carb back up in a couple more hours. I'm like, oh no, I got a party here. Let me hurry up and get this going.
Hey guys, who here received a package today?
I did not.
Huh?
Package.
Did you send something?
Yes.
Let me check.
Scott, I'm impressed they made it to you already.
Wait, Jason,
I
how did you send
I got a package from.
It had to have been me.
Well, yeah, no, I also got a package from Yakima Hops today too.
Oh,
I ordered mine today.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I got both packages.
Jason,
I got 2 bottles of beer.
Yeah.
And Yakima Valley hops. I got a pound of Summit, actually a pound and a half of Summit, and the sniffing thing, the aroma kit.
Oh yeah.
The sniffing thing.
So I'm gonna be right back. I'm wondering if it's in my mailbox because my mailbox is slightly sizable, and depending on how big that package was, they may have shoved it in there. So
it was USPS. So yeah.
That's what I thought. All right, I'm gonna go check that out. I'll be right back.
Is it something that fits in the mailbox, Jason? Because if I didn't, that's freaking funny. I live like 30 minutes from you, and I didn't get the package yet.
I know. It made it to Buffalo before it made its way to Joliet. That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's gonna take longer to get to me than it will to you guys.
I know. Well,
man,
Is it just me?
and we'll see what George.
I'm the only one?
Yeah.
We'll see what George says when he gets back, if it came or not, and we'll see if tonight's the night. I tell you, I'm excited about this though because I'm proud of this beer, and I hope you guys agree.
It's in my fridge.
Oh,
Should I leave it in the fridge?
For now, we'll see. We'll see if George has it, then we'll talk about it.
Okay. If not, I'll go get a drink.
Hey, did anything come up with the Loganberry Farm? Did you type that in?
Oh yeah, there's farms that are called Loganberry Farm.
Okay.
Yeah,
looking
I
very
think Jason, it
fun.
probably would have been easy if you just would have drove it to my house. And we got there on
Honestly,
time.
Paulie, I was that close to doing that. I seriously was. And if I wasn't, I'm serious. And if I wasn't working on Saturday, like I was tied up at work until almost 7 o'clock on Saturday. If I wasn't doing that, that's how I would have done it.
Gotcha. That's good. I'm just giving you shit
It-
anyway.
oh, I
just think
know.
it's funny.
I know. It's silly enough. Why would I? Why would I take a package for Joliet to the post office?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well,
We could have bet halfway and had a social distance beer the side of 355 or something.
you know what's halfway
I actually
between?
had a few of those yesterday.
No, seriously. You know what's halfway between you and me?
What?
The prison.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
The prison.
The prison?
We could have had we could have had a beer together in front of the prison.
If
Right.
we were in front of the prison, we could have. That's
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah. that
Just
really
like-
is the perfect midway point.
Just like the first scene in Blues Brothers.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Well, Scott, I don't know if you heard us talk about this, but we were supposed to. I doubt it'll happen. It's still not till October, but we're in the process of planning a beer festival inside of that prison.
Oh, that's awesome.
And we're talking like over 200 breweries the first year out the gate. Because inside that yard's like 16 acres big. Just
Yeah,
alone,
it's
just a
huge.
yard alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet you can get Dan Aykroyd
Yeah,
to
but-
show up.
Well, it's
Remember
been in the
what
talks.
happened-
Well, he was.
I was gonna say, remember what happened to Untapped when they tried to do that? It did not work out.
No.
What Untapped?
Did-
They tried to do a beer fest at a prison or what?
They tried to do a ginormous beer fest inside of a football stadium, and it was like the Fire Festival of beer fests. It was nothing went right.
I don't
It
know the
was-
story.
You can search
Don't
for it
know
on
this
Twitter.
story?
And
I
see
will.
people's
I will.
complaints.
The fire.
Yeah,
no,
it-
that
it-
paints the picture very clearly.
It
And
actually
it's not
happened.
super far off.
But they ran
I
out of
believe you.
beer. Their cups were too small. The weather was bad.
Right, the cups were
Oh,
crappy.
so poor planning was what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
a big
okay.
part of it was they had bad weather, and they weren't allowing people to be out on the field while the
Right,
weather
'cause
was
of
in
lightning.
the area was bad because of lightning.
right.
So everyone was kind of like huddled on the interior of it, and they weren't able to serve beer, and their cups were crappy, and their response was equally crappy, and it just did not go well. So
okay.
if you're planning your thing, just make sure you don't pull an Untapped.
Well, put it this way: we've been in committee about this thing since last July. I'm in like 3
Okay.
or 4 committees on this event. So, I mean, we even had a little subcommittee where we invited like all the people, like me and a few of my friends that were beer fest goers. Are like, okay, what are the do's and what are the don'ts? Like we had a lot of that. We had a lot of silly stuff hammered out, which I think was great. That all of us at Thrown this festival, we've been to them, we've seen the shit shows. So we were trying to
Yeah.
not have that shit show be our first one, and I think the only thing right now that was holding this up was, what we're dealing with right now. To be honest with you,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
but who knows? That's not till October. I don't think it's going to happen, but that's my last ditch effort for something fun this year to happen. How about that?
Yeah. I understand.
Yep.
Yeah, gotta be optimistic.
Okay, so it looks like
Well,
we're not doing that beer tonight, so I'm going to get a drink. I will be back.
Right on.
Okay. All right.
Oh.
So I was on Sunday, I took my spent grains over to my neighbor's house, and I fed them to my neighbor's cows, and I can show you guys a picture of that. And it turns out, like I said online, that I was not lied to. Cows really do dig. Come on,
Spent grain.
spent grain. Yeah, is it showing up for you?
It's coming.
It's coming. Yeah, they really do dig spent grain, and as soon as it shows up. And so they were going nuts, and there was a bull there that just had the craziest eyes when he tried it. So there it goes.
So, what is it specifically about spent grain that appeals to cows, as opposed to
Because-
any grain that still has its sugars?
Well, because what our whole purpose
They
in
use it a
brewing
lot
is
for
to
filler.
extract the sugars.
I know.
And so if we don't wash them completely off, the outside of the grain is sweet. And they just jam on it. They love it because it's a sweet grain. And so I get back, I post this picture on Twitter, and I was like, "Oh, yay, I fed cows with spent grain for the first time, blah blah blah." And Scott, in his super helpful way, sent me a message just like, "So you remember that time that Sam Adams exploded some cows?" And I was like, "No, the fuck, I don't remember this. What happened?" And so
Exploded some cows?
yeah,
What?
immediately I was like, "Holy shit! You know, I have to worry about these cows because I don't want my neighbor's cows to explode." And so he sends me this article, and apparently Sam Adams he was talking about some failures that they had, and one of them was they had this beer with just this enormous grain bill, and it was like a loaf of bread, basically, kind of grain bill, and they were feeding him to his cows, and there was so much of this sweetened grain and everything that when the cows ate it and it got to their secondary stomach, it started to ferment and create gas.
Are you serious?
And apparently one or two of the cows exploded. And so
Oh my god!
I was
Wow!
I was reading this and I'm like,
Oh.
oh my god, and then you should see, Scott, you should see my face when I read your reply of, "Hey, you remember when Sam Adams blew up cows?" I was like, no, I don't remember this. So
I'm
But-
going to look back into this. This is curious. Funny
Yeah.
story.
Yeah.
yeah, if if I did my job and got as much of the sugars out as I could, and honestly, it was only I think 12 or 13 pounds of grains, so they should be fine. But because from what I gathered from the Sam Adams article, it was the sheer amount of spent grains that they fed them that caused them to explode. So
I'm surprised you can't find more about this online.
I
mean, there's one Esquire article, and that's about it.
that's about it. Yeah. So
So, could this be internet fiction?
I don't know. There's a quote from Jim Cook.
Jim Cook, yeah, it seemed to be an interview with Jim Cook from what I saw, talking about a few of their failures.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, all right.
So I don't know.
I guess there's something to be said about just like, I mean, to what degree can wild yeast survive inside of a living person or animal?
Or animal, yeah, I don't know. And we have to remember that cows are herbivorous, so I don't know if that contributes to it at all or anything, but
That's a good point. That's it. Yeah, and all those plants will have some form of wild yeast.
yeah.
Yeah.
But all I know is I had a tiny little panic attack, wondering if I was gonna harm my neighbor's cows for a minute.
From conversations that I've had, like the amount of breweries that donate their spent grains to local farms is very wide. Like
Yeah.
this is happening very, very commonly across the country.
Yeah.
So I feel like if this were a real endangerment of animals and there was a real risk, wouldn't the entire brewing community know about this?
You'd think. Yeah, I think that was probably a very special set of circumstances. That
Exactly.
caused that.
That's my point. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
So
yeah.
it's so the appeal to cattle and cows of spent grains is the leftover sugars
Yep.
that's left over from after the mash. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Leftover on the outside, because remember we crack it open and then
Correct. Yeah.
we extract those sugars, and the sparge is supposed to wash off the majority of them, but it never gets it all.
Never gets it all. That's true. Okay.
So, so yeah, it's just sweet, and they jam on it.
All right.
Yeah.
I actually used to give my spent grain to a lady that had a bunch of chickens, and she said the chickens loved it whenever she brought it
Same
to them.
thing.
I've heard
Yeah.
that too. Yeah, chickens like it.
I need to
Oh,
find. I need somewhere to send my spent grains.
You don't have a neighbor that has some cows?
You know what neighborhood I live in? No,
Yeah.
there's really no cows in my.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Wouldn't get past the HOA?
Hell no.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm sure they'd be huge fans of that idea.
Well, I've seen other things. Like I just read one about making beer soap. I read that on is it BYO or Zymergy? I think it was Zymergy. Had an article on making beer soap and including some of the spent grains to create a exfoliating effect through the soap. And
I use beer soap every now and then, and there is spent grain in there.
yeah.
Like sometimes I gotta pick it out because it's like scratching into my arm or something like that.
So does that create kind of a rough texture?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like
All
a
right.
Brillo pad.
Like
kind of.
okay, all right,
Yeah, and it's good for the skin and it like exfoliates the skin too. So
got it. So it's like the effect that salt has.
yeah.
Okay.
And then dog biscuits is the other thing I saw that a lot of people make out of spent grain.
Nice. That was quite a face that Paulie just made.
The only thing I don't like
Whiskey
about
don't
it
mind me.
is I'm doing whiskey also, but the only thing like making bread out of spent grain or making dog biscuits, it's like use 1 cup of spent grain and then 3 cups of bread flour. Like I could have just used the bread flour. Like I
Right.
appreciate it, but I'm trying to get rid of my spent grains. I'm not just trying to spice up a loaf of bread.
Yes, no, that's true. I understand. Yeah. Oh man. So Jason, when are your grains? Jason and Scott, when are your grains coming in? Do you think you're going to be hitting the brewing this weekend?
Yeah, I'm going to pick them up tomorrow.
Okay.
Yep.
Well,
He brings
if
them
you-
right out to their car.
If you do it this weekend, you're going to be doing it on Homebrewer Independence Day.
Doing it right. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
As
so
long as it's
That's
not
right, that's
Mother's
Saturday.
Day. Can't do it on Mother's Day.
I think that's Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah,
That's
Sunday.
always Sunday.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So,
Scott, if your brew day is on Saturday, we'll be brewing in tandem.
Nice.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll go live on it. I'll try. I don't know.
okay.
Cool.
I will be down at the in-laws, but for also Mother's Day. But if you guys are doing that, let me know, and I'll jump on for a while. See your
Absolutely.
brew days.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, let me
Right.
know. I got a recipe here that I need to do that I've been wanting to do that I haven't done yet. So
All right.
Yeah,
It's
2 hours.
it's growing.
I
Look
keep
at this.
talking
Okay. Recognizing the fall of homebrewing prohibition, as we
Yep.
talked about on the last show.
for the last 2 states,
Exactly.
unsurprisingly, Mississippi and Alabama.
Anyone
Alabama
ever
was
make
the last one to fall. That was only like 2 years ago, I think.
It was 2013, so it really wasn't that long
Okay,
ago.
so was it that long already?
Yeah.
It's that long already.
2017.
No,
Yeah,
but
it was
cow.
Matt that told us that, wasn't it?
it was, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we looked
Yeah.
it up last time, so. But yeah. Oh man.
Anyone ever use Summit hops for an IPA?
Not for an
I
IPA, but I
have.
have used them.
I'm thinking about making a
Wait,
smash because I've never had Summit hops, or I've never used Summit hops.
I actually grew them at one time at one of my
Yeah.
houses. That's what it was. What are the alphas on them? Are they high or low? Or I
Yeah,
don't
15.
remember.
Oh,
15?
yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
15 and a
actually,
half.
kind of who it was. There was a brewery out of Minnesota. Can't think of their name. They're well known. Summit. So they did a Summit hop one, which was actually pretty good because we were growing them at our house because we never knew what they were. And down by us when we grew them, they never really did anything that the Cascades or the Centennials did in this area. So, but they were nice. From what I remember, they were kind of florally, little tanginess, but
Hmm.
pininess to them. from what
A
I remember. But
summer wheat ale suggested. I'm looking up suggestions. Actually, I got to go put my kids to sleep. I will be back.
Okay.
okay.
All
Okay.
right. So,
Summit hops. Okay.
yeah.
Summit hops. I had to think about it. I knew about them because we were growing when I was living with Brian. We were growing those Cascade and Centennial in our backyard, and they were fun. It was weird because like the Cascade and Centennial were crazy. These summits, they just didn't work very. They weren't doing very good. Maybe they ate some nutrients. I don't know. I wasn't
Okay.
working at Broomger at the time. I was just shopping there.
So I got a question for you guys. I have been, you know the I think I mentioned Polly. I'm not sure if you've seen pictures of it or anything, but I have a shed that I brew in, and I open up a window and put a fan in to exhaust out and everything. So, because number one, I am still a propane brewer. I don't have an electric brewery yet, so I got to make sure I don't, kill myself. But number two, it gets hot. And so that helps to exhaust some of the excess heat. But the other thing that it tends to do is get humid because of the boil off from the wort. So one of the things and I don't know, Polly or Jason, if you've worked with any systems that have this, but one of the things that I've been considering getting is one of these guys. And
I've never even seen anything like this.
so it's called a steam slayer. I've seen a system like this in action once, and you
Let me
attach.
see if I can blow this up.
I
can't wait till my computer's up and running. I can see this shit.
There, does that help, Polly?
I think this is right up Polly's alley.
I think so too. So, what this is you have this this body here, and then this part here connects via tri-clamp to your kettle, to the top of your kettle, and so I'd have to.
Hello?
Polly, you there? Did we lose him?
I just heard him. His screen is frozen.
Yeah.
Give him a second. Yep, there he is.
There you are. Do you see it, Polly?
All right, I'm back now. So that where is that? You said that's a steam slave. What is that big T-looking thing hook up to? Is that hook up?
So
to
this big
top of
T
your
thing.
kettle?
So yeah, so you have to put a hole in your kettle and put a tri-clamp on near the top. And I found a weldless tri-clamp, one of these guys, so that's not a problem. And then you attach this to it.
Yeah.
Right, and then it vents the steam out through the tri-clamp hole, and then this apparatus here connects to the top again via tri-clamp, and then this guy here connects to a garden hose and feeds into this and spritzes water. And so the idea is the steam comes in here, the water gets spritzed, and then it comes out the bottom through this tube into a catch bucket. And so you take all your steam, you put it in here, you spritz water at it, you condense it, and it falls out into a catch bucket. And apparently it can fall out at a rate of about 6 gallons per hour. But so you do end up using a little bit of water that way. But the flip side is that your boil off is pretty much cut in half. And so for me, obviously not having all that steam up in the air and raising the humidity, which makes it really sometimes a little sweltering,
Unbearable.
let's say, in there. Yeah, I'm taking a break and walking outside for a second kind of thing. But, just also controlling boil off, which means I get to use less water, and I can capture that water and I can use it for my next brew, or I can use it for cleaning or what have you, to try to conserve water that way as well.
Okay. I've never seen that. Who makes that? Or was it Steam? What company made that?
So brewhardware.com. I have yeah, so you can see their name up here.
You know what? Maybe I'll have to...
Yeah, and so I found they have a 1.5 inch weldless bulkhead, but they're sold out right now. So I found another one, and you can probably grab one at Brew and Grow if I had to guess. But this is you need an 1.5 inch weldless bulkhead to be able to connect that to. Or welded. You can weld one on that. I really don't feel like welding, so I'm not gonna.
You know what? I'm not a big fan of welding. I do everything weldless because every I don't know, maybe once a month, every couple months, I pull everything apart just for a peace of mind, so I know nothing got caught in between the gasket or something.
Right.
Nothing's growing down there. You know how it is.
Yeah. So what do you think?
So-
That might be my next project, because of course I need another project.
You know what? I think it might work. I'm sure it would work. I've never used this system. I don't know anything about it, so yeah, I'm always skeptical about something until I use it once or talk to someone that used it. It looks like it'd be well worth it, especially you could save the water for brewing and use it for cleaning or whatever. Especially if it's hot, you could use it for cleaning. Perfect.
Right.
You clean your mash tun. You got hot water to clean your mash tun while you're doing everything else. You know.
And it certainly would be it warm,
I
and
like
so and considering again I use the propane, and so around the Hellfire burner it does get a little warm, but also the hot water turning to liquid and going down into the bucket. I think I'd probably use a metal kettle to catch it in rather than like a plastic Homer bucket or something. But
Yeah, for sure.
I think I might do that because I was brewing on Saturday and I was like, oh, there's got to be a way that I can control this humidity.
I could speak to that too because George called me in the middle of his brew day and he was soaked.
Yeah, I was a little sweaty. Yeah, so
that's an interesting
Is it
little
too small
piece.
to put a hood there and an inline fan there, George? Is
See,
your shed too small?
No, that's
Put a
another
small
option
hood
I
with
was
an
thinking
inline
about.
fan in there?
That's another option I was thinking about was putting a hood with a fan in there. Even that is not going to capture all the steam and shunt it outside. So
because there's just nowhere for that air to go. That's
Right.
the tough part of that.
So I was thinking, and if
Put yourself a can fan in.
I'm sorry.
It'll suck it through. Just put a can fan in there.
Again.
An inline fan.
Right.
Where it'll actually draw air through it, and that'll draw a lot of the moisture out too.
It would certainly help, yeah. And in long term, that may be part of my, brew shed as well, because this would solve the problem for like the boil time, but not for mash. And especially now that I'm leaving my mash tun open and everything, there's humidity there as well. So a hood like that, but I think this would really help quite a bit in controlling the humidity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I agree. I think it would.
I'd have to watch a demo video on that and just kind of see how it
Actually,
looks.
does the company have demo videos about it?
I'm sure they do.
I don't know.
Everyone has demo videos.
Well,
I know,
I'm
right?
looking on their website. I'm not seeing it on their website, but they may on like YouTube or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if they don't, then
You should
pretty
make
sure we
one.
know some people that could probably take care of that.
Yeah. Yeah, we can take care of that.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That is not a difficult thing to do.
Nah.
All right.
Man.
I'm holding up nicely. I was worried what kind of shape I'd be in by the end of this can.
All right.
Oh, what else we got? We forget anything?
No, I am going to subject my wife to this Loganberry, see what she thinks of it.
Oh, I think she'll like it.
I've come down on that. I like it, but the sheer amount of sugars is going to prevent me from asking you to send more, I think.
Yeah, you don't do it often.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Candy and I split a can of it over the weekend, and I thought half a can was just perfect. And we both said the same thing. If you really like wanted to, you could water it down, and you could bring it to a pretty nice state. And I do that with a lot of like juices. Like for the times that I do drink juice, I'll water it down a little bit. That would work just fine with the Loganberry.
It does seem a little concentrated. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean,
Yeah.
Scott, I think you would agree with this. I would describe that as a juice before I would describe it as a soda.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's non-carbonated.
Right. So you have that range. I mean, so if you add water, you're not like erasing the carbonation or anything. So you can.
Yeah.
I was just
So there
checking
you
the
have it.
temperature. I was just checking the temperature on my starter to see if it's come up to temperature yet.
Oh,
Not quite yet.
okay.
Not
Okay.
quite yet, but it'll be ready to pitch tonight.
Good.
Yeah.
It's going to take off, no doubt.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, how can it not with a yeast cake, like that?
It is a nice yeast cake. Well done.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Do you do starters, Scott? Were you around for that discussion?
Yeah, it depends on the beer for sure. I mean, if I'm just tossing in some 05, then I'm just tossing in some 05. But the New England IPA that I'm kegging right now that I'm going to be sending you guys, I made a starter and then split that off so I have more of it too.
So if I remember that one correctly, you pulled that off a batch that you had made once before, didn't you?
No, I did that with the Sierra Nevada Pale. So I made it
I see.
twice. And
Okay.
I dumped it right on the yeast cake the second time. And it
Okay.
started
Okay.
quick
Got
and
it.
tasted great. The second one here, I made a starter and I doubled it
Okay.
and then split it off. And half of the starter went into the first one, half of the starter's going into the second one.
Okay.
Okay.
Certain other beers, like trying to think which one would I absolutely always do a starter on. Things that I want to finish up quick and clean. I mean, not so much with the New England IPA. I'm trying to stress the yeast out a little.
Right, and some of the like Belgians and things, and some of the German styles, you wanna stress them out a little too. But
Yeah.
yeah,
What kind of yeast did you use for your hazy there, Scott?
London Ale yeast, the Smack Pack from Y
The
Yeast.
3, London 3?
Mhm.
All right.
Yep.
That's pretty much the common one that besides all the Quebec yeast stuff. I'm just kind of curious
Yeah.
what other people are using. Anybody tried that? I think Leyland, they have a hazy yeast now.
I have a packet of Leyland in the fridge upstairs, and provided that my brew day happens
their
as
hazy
scheduled,
one?
you know what? I'll have to look at the pack. What's that? No, I
Where'd you
ordered
get
it.
it from? If you got it from us, it wasn't the hazy one because we don't carry it yet.
No,
We're trying to
it
get
was
Wicked Carry.
I ordered it off a website.
Oh, gotcha.
Here,
Yeah, because I noticed that this.
I'm looking it up real quick. Yeah, hold on.
did you get the Kvike that was recommended?
No, the Quebec is sold out everywhere.
Oh,
Yeah, because
Because
they're
that's-
shut down right now. Well, they
Well-
opened back up, I guess, like last week.
Right.
So they're going to be back.
Well, the other part of that too is because the Big Brew Day recipe called for that. So there
Called
was
for
a
it, so
huge run of
everyone's
that
buying
yeast
it.
because of
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Yeah, Polly, what I have is the Nottingham.
Okay. They're Nottingham. Yeah, all right. That's a decent basic yeast. It's almost like an 05 in a way. Actually, I know a few of our friends that use that in the Norm, which I was surprised when I saw they were using it.
Okay. Well,
So I don't know. Like honestly, up until I started working at Brew and Grill, I was against dry yeast. I really was.
George and I have
I
talked
don't-
about that at length on this show.
I don't
did.
know what it is, and then I started diving into it, and like for the most part, if I'm going for a clean American ale yeast, I'm going to buy 05 over
Sure.
1056
Yeah.
or 01
mm-hmm.
because it's got a longer shelf life, and actually you get more yeast cells in that little packet than you do the Smack packs.
True.
So, when it brought to me like that, I'm like, Oh yeah, and then I can keep a couple packs in my fridge just in case I decide to do like a 1056 that takes too long to start. I got you fixed
Yeah,
with a good
exactly.
yeast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, it's a good,
Yeah.
clean, reliable yeast.
I'll tell you, for not for nothing, but I always keep some USO5 around in case I have a stall. Because it's a nice, clean, neutral yeast that if I stall out, I can throw a packet of that in and finish out the beer.
Oh yeah.
And that's worked a lot. So
I had to learn the
one
lesson
time.
too about what was I going to say? Because I fully bought onto dry yeast when I was doing a couple of lagers, because I'm a big fan of the dry yeast 3470, which is it's the lager yeast that has a wide temperature range. Like it has some ale like qualities to it.
What can you lager that at? Actually, I've never used it. What's the highest you can get with that?
So I think the temperature range for that yeast is like 50 to 70.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it crosses both worlds. But anyways, I had the idea in my head because when I heard that yeast talked about, people were doing starters with it, and they were doing starters because they were repeating it. So they were brewing with it, they were cultivating the yeast after the brew day was done, and then they would do a starter with it before they would pitch it into a new batch. What I was doing is I was buying new packs of it, bringing it home, and then tossing it into a starter 2 days before my brew day, which you end up breaking the rule of you don't have to do a starter if you're just pitching with dry yeast.
Mm-hmm.
So, and actually you were one of the people that taught me about that in detail. Because, I mean, the overall feedback on that was there's no point to doing a starter from a dry pack.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm glad I could teach you something, Jason.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. I freely admit I'm not smart enough to know all the details, but one thing that brewing has taught me, it's to trust people that are smarter than me. And you two, of course,
wouldn't
fit
go
that
that
category.
far,
No. Don't shrug that off. You two are way smarter than I am. So I absorb the knowledge around me.
I guess I just got lucky, and like if I would be half the brewer I was if I started off like mostly everybody else did. Buying them from a book and a kit. No, I went to a professional brewery, learned from there, and then I brought it down to the homebrew scale. So, I mean, I guess that was a little bit of baptism by fire. It was kind of weird. My very first brew day, I'm used to mashing in like 800 pounds of grain and hauling it all out. Here I got like a measly 12. I'm like, this is it?
That was Dave's story too.
Mm-hmm.
Starting off on the big scales rather than a homebrewing scale.
Yeah, and actually, Dave,
Yeah,
I've been Dave's go-to guy with all his homebrew questions at his apartment.
Oh, I believe it. Yeah, I totally believe that. Yeah, for George and I, it was just a couple of brewing books and then going to 2 different homebrew clubs each month, and we just absorbed all of our knowledge from there. And I think
What other club did you guys go to besides us?
There's a monthly homebrewers meetup in Downers Grove that we've been going to for many years, and I
don't be jealous.
I don't care. I just know all the homebrew clubs. Is that the one that meets at Altar?
No.
Yeah,
That's
no.
UKG. No, it's
Okay.
it's a group called the Main Street Homebrewers.
Okay.
They meet in downtown Downers Grove, and it's a table of like 6 or 7 guys for most meetings. And there's good knowledge in the group. So,
well, JBG wasn't my first homebrew club either. I was a boss guy before JBG.
oh, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, you were.
Hey, I wasn't a pale
Member
guy,
of
so you
boss.
can't hold that over my head. Yeah, Jason's laughing. I can't wait till everyone hears that one.
Yeah. Well, we know the history of JBG and its connection with Pale. I think it's pretty well understood at this point.
And it's a big giant joke. And that's the funny thing is,
Yes.
it's a big giant joke.
Yeah.
I mean, did you ever hear the story that Dan told me a couple years ago when Lagunitas has the beer circus or whatever? Yeah, the beer circus. I guess Metal Monkey was set up right next to Workforce, right? and a couple comes up to work for us and like, hey, aren't you guys part of the JBG? And Brandon was like, no, they're a dead enemy. Screw them. And Dan and Jason are sitting right next to him, laughing their ass off. So it's not just us talking this shit; they are too. And that's
I get it. I get it. I love that I got to egg that along because we had a JBG meeting at Metal Monkey several months back, and I made this wisecrack when I had a bottle that somehow got mixed up with somebody else's. And my response to all that, and you certainly remember this, was I was like, this crap would never happen at a pale meeting. Yeah, you remember. Oh man, did I get some dirty looks from that.
Whatever, it is what it is. Hey, baby.
Yeah.
Hey, little girl. I had one of my cats get out last night that I didn't even know until I got my truck running this morning, and she comes whining around my truck. I'm like, oh, I didn't even know you were out. I thought you were sleeping when I got up. So.
Oh, jeez. I don't even know if my cat would know what to do if he got outside.
Oh, Drizzle?
Well,
yeah, I'm pretty sure she wouldn't.
My female, she was an indoor cat before she came to me, and she would be like when I first got her, she would get out and be gone for like 2 or 3 days and always come home. Now, if she's gone more than 12 hours, then I'm a little worried about her. Like if she gets out at night, she's definitely back in the morning and back door wanting back in the house. I think she realized she
that's
want
good.
to be outside. She's like, screw that.
She knows where the food is.
Yeah. She sucked by me when I was drunk on the front porch last night. That's what happened. Enjoying my Sunday afternoon when it was like 70 degrees outside. Listening to, I picked up this new app on my phone that's New Orleans radio. And then this weekend was supposed to be Jazz Fest. So they were playing Jazz Fest sets all weekend.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like last night, I heard the Neville Brothers close out Jazz Fest in like '94, which was fucking amazing. Yeah, it's I'll send you guys a link if you want. It's a radio station, so you can listen to New Orleans radio the whole time. You know, when you're at work or something.
Send that to me.
Okay.
I'd enjoy listening to that.
It's an app, so I'll send you a picture of the app.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
No problem. No problem.
All right.
Yeah. This whole.
Well, I think we. I was gonna say I think we lost Scott. I sent him a message, but I'm not sure if he's gonna be able to come back.
Well, he said he had to put the kids down.
Well, then he
did,
came back.
but then I thought he did that and came back.
He did.
And then
he did.
Yeah.
Something happened.
Yeah.
So how's my stream been today since I finally got the intranet at my house? Computer's not hooked up yet, but I got the intranet at my house.
It's smoothed up over the last probably 20 minutes.
You know what? I was having the same problem on my end. Like everything was all cutty and everything. I don't know. Maybe it was a bad connection with 4 of us or something like that. But as of right now, it's fine.
Yeah. No, it's gotten a lot better.
Like when you called me out and not having the computer, I'm like, actually, I do. I just never turned it on. It's still in my spare bedroom. I haven't hooked it up yet. But I have to get speakers and a camera so I can do this stuff. But
okay,
I will. Right. It's a work in progress.
Sure, yeah. Fortunately, those tools are easy to find.
Oh yeah. It's the first time ever in my life I've had the internet paid for at my house. I've always done it on my phone. It was always easier.
Right.
So.
Right. Well, you found a good reason to have it too, being here on the webcast with us.
Absolutely.
Yes, exactly.
I really have.
Yes. No, this has been a blast for all of us.
Yeah, it really has.
And just so you know, like I told Jason George, I got another brewer on now too. So we just pick a date and let them know, and I got 2 people that'll have no problem jumping in with us for a few hours.
We have an opening on Thursday.
Who do you want first? You want the guy that taught me to brew, or do you want the barrel brewer?
Guy that taught you how to brew? Maybe the other guy.
The other guy's the guy that has Whoa, I just caught
Yeah, now you caught on to that. Come on.
No, it took me a second. I'm a little slow sometimes.
No, either.
The next 2 Thursdays, then we can do that. The next 2 Thursdays.
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right,
that would be awesome.
I'll send the messages
Yeah.
out to them, and whoever decides which day, well, I'll make sure we'll get their email and we'll send them the links.
Thank
Okay,
you.
sounds
Thank
good.
you.
No problem. No, it's
You-
fun, and
Right.
especially like if I'll be able to see Matt. I haven't seen my buddy Matt in crap. Last time I saw my buddy Matt was like 5 years ago at GABF. And
Oh,
an event that
wow.
his brewery was doing, yeah. And this is when he now this is before he started his own brewery. That's all barrel aged stuff.
All barrel stuff.
I'm very intrigued.
Not my
by
cup
that.
of tea, but yeah, not my cup of tea, but
it's
there's a
not
lot of
just-
interesting stuff
It
there.
will be a great conversation. Absolutely.
For
Yeah,
sure.
and actually,
Yeah.
George says not his cup of tea, but Jason, if you want, there is a website you can go to, and you can get his stuff delivered quarterly. They give you like 8 bottles every quarter,
Ooh.
and they're all different
Wow.
things. They're all small batches too.
Okay.
Okay.
You got Sean's number?
I'm
I
sorry?
do. Yes, I do.
Reach out to him because he's been the one getting he's been getting it delivered to him for the past few months now.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll ask him about it.
How's your shipment of On Tour been holding up? Are they
That's been gone.
They
that,
all-
that was gone on Friday.
that was gone?
I need
Okay,
more.
that's an option.
Well, no, because like that
have-
delivery I sent, only one case was for me, and the first day I went through over half of it with, 2/3 of the people coming over that first day to pick it up and pay me. So we're all
Right.
having
Oh,
social-
yeah,
you
so
know,
drinking
having
with
social
friends
distancing
and-
beers, and I'm like, oh, this
Yeah,
is really good.
yeah.
And a couple people, like I got the mix and match 6-pack or the mix and match case, so I got the one of the 4, and I thought all 4 of them were great. Like I think the session one was probably my favorite, and the Pilsner. Those 2 were probably my favorite out of the 2.
Yeah. So you still remain the beverage liaison, regardless of Bluegrass Festival. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And the funny thing was I was talking to a few of the people. Like the Joliet people, also get it for them, just because. But like some of the friends that I got it for, because I wanted a big shipment the first time. Like I looked at them like, you're technically in the area. You should order so they see like 4 or 5 stops instead of one stop with 10 cases.
Oh
at one
yeah,
place.
of course. Yeah.
Actually, Jason, if you're interested, we're gonna get a Blue Island order together. If you want something from Blue Island,
I'll take a look at what they got.
yeah, I think right now 6-packs are the Amber, the Colt, their cream soda, jerk soda, whatever the thing's called. But then they're always releasing new stuff too.
Okay.
Because we're all sitting around talking last night. A few of us, like, well, I went for a walk in the neighborhood and started talking to a few people. And then one guy brought up the idea, he's like, Al will deliver to us. So we're
Okay.
going to try and get a big order to make
Okay.
Al come out to us. And he will.
Okay.
In a
All
heartbeat.
right. Cool.
So one of the things you said there was you said one of the ones they had was a Kolsch or however you want to pronounce it. The brewery that opened up around me made they're hitting their stride. They're really starting to do a bunch of beers, and they're finding their groove, which seems to be like German styles, not Reinheitsgebot level German, but German styles. And one of the ones they made just recently was a Kolsch. And oh my lord, it is so crisp and slightly bitey in that way that they sometimes are, and clean and with like no off character to it. It is probably the cleanest beer I've had from them, and it's really tasty. So if that is a kind of an omen of things to come, I think that is I think that's going to be very good.
Nice.
I just think it's really cool that, like, the way the beer progressions have been in like there's this one meme I remember a few years ago where it's like the progression of craft beer drinkers. You got your light lager, IPAs, and like a few different styles, and then all of a sudden it's back to lagers. And now I'm starting to see.
I've seen that meme too.
You know what I'm talking about.
I
It's got
do.
the
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and all that from the
Yep.
Neanderthal.
Yep.
And like I made my first lager years ago, and I'm about ready to do it again because I've always liked IPLs, and I have a perfect IPL recipe that I would love to try and do again. And I would probably do that 3470, like you said. It reminds me a lot of the 2112 yeast from white yeast, the California lager yeast. From what I believe that's Anchor Steam yeast. I don't know if anybody knows anything about that.
Nope. Don't know it.
I just know these things because
Yeah.
we're told to know these when we talk to people. So
Sure. I get it.
So you know how I feel about that is like when you first get away from the mass market beers and you get into craft beers, it's kind of a backlash effect. You want to get as far away from everything you've been drinking, for your whole life. So you end up going for IPAs or stouts or sours or just anything that's not Coors,
Yep.
and and
Milkshake
then, eventually
IPAs.
milkshake IPAs, yeah. And eventually you burn yourself out on that, and then you start. I think at some point you start appreciating beer for beer, and that's when people start rediscovering some of the more standard styles, but done better. That's it's kind of a circular effect, I think, and that's I think that's why you see that a lot is because all the standard stuff is the lagers, so you want to get away from that as much as possible.
yeah, but like when Miller Lite's technically a pilsner, but you try a nice real
Technically.
crisp. When you try a nice crisp, clean, hoppy pilsner, it don't taste anything like a goddamn
Yeah.
Miller Lite. I'm sorry.
No.
And pilsners actually turned out to be one of my favorite. Like everyone talks about Colson. That's one style I can't wrap my head around, but you never know. Next year I might fall in love with them, Like my palate changes every year, I find
Yeah.
that new niche and I want to try something. So, and then I'll focus on that all year. Like one year I had a summer of Pilsners. I didn't like Pilsners, and now I can tell you like 3 or 4 Pilsners that I'll buy in a heartbeat when I'm out. Like
Yeah.
Pilsner or Cal. I don't know anywhere, but around, like when I go to by my aunt's house in the city, she kind of lives like a Eastern European neighborhood. I can get a 4-pack of Pilsner or Kel for $5. Why would
Wow.
you not buy that?
Well, is it any good?
I wouldn't keep buying it if it was bad.
Well, I
Have you
mean,
had-
you
have
can
you ever
get
had- I
Mad
like
Dog
Cal when
for
it's
cheap
fresh.
too. That doesn't mean it's good,
Matt.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, you're right. I mean, Sam's is cheap, but it's good, so I keep drinking the shit for $15 a 30-pack.
We just did a whole episode on why cheap beers are not necessarily good beers.
No, the Pilsner or Kel, that's like a classic Pilsner lager. So, and when
Right.
it's fresh, it's not bad. I mean,
Yeah.
it ain't no Prima Pils. It ain't no Firestone Walker Pilsner or the Pilsner from Founders or something like that. But it's still a solid Pilsner.
Yeah.
And it's
No,
more
that's
traditional. It's got the American twist on it,
good. Yeah.
But
So
I've been
welcome
sure
back,
loving
Scott.
this.
Thank you.
Hi, welcome back, Scott.
Thank you.
I assume you had to take care of something.
Yeah.
So more important than us somehow with your family.
Slightly.
Yes, family
Only
getting
slightly.
away.
Right.
What the hell?
So yeah. Did you see what I was? Were you here when I was talking about the Steam Slayer thing, the condenser?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever used one of those?
No, I have a range hood above the Grainfather, and it doesn't take out as much as it needs to.
Right.
So I still get some.
In line with it?
Say it again.
Do you have a fan in line with it? Okay.
Yeah, and I think the next idea is to cut a keg in half and just send a straight 4-inch out the glass block window with an inline fan on that, and have the keg as the hood.
Okay.
The reason for doing so is because right now the fan on the range hood, it's a kitchen range hood. The fan is facing downward, and
Right.
the steam condensates on that and then drips back in.
Oh, okay.
So if I use a keg, I can put a lip on the bottom of the keg. So if the fan isn't there at all, it will condensate on the inside of the keg, and then instead of dripping straight down, it'll drip into the lip,
Right.
and then I can drain out of that.
Right. Right. Yeah, I mean the other like Polly was saying, the other thing that I was thinking about doing was putting a range hood up, but not really utilizing the range hood fan.
Mhm.
Underneath the range hood, put an exhaust fan that goes out through the wall, so it'll go up into the range hood and then get pulled out to to the outside. That was kind of another thought that I had for
You need something to catch the condensation.
Right. Yeah, which is the other part of why I think both things are probably what I end up doing.
Yeah.
So that most of it gets caught by like this steam slayer or another condensator unit and drips down into the bucket, but then any excess gets exhausted out kind of situation. Because I hate being uncomfortable.
Yeah, uncomfortable
Yeah.
sucks. Especially
Uncomfortable
if you're all hot and
sucks.
bothered.
Yeah. So
I forget what they're called. They're like evaporative hoods.
evaporative hoods?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen some hoods, like with one brewery in particular,
Condensate.
where they had the bottom of the hood, they had a little trough that caught all the condensation, and then a drain line that came.
Well,
down
that's
from it.
kind of what Scott is talking about with his keg. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
not to think. Now I hear about that. That's right. Yeah, that would probably work better. Then you can at least condensate and then drain it out.
Yeah.
Like you're just doing a range hood with a fan is already installed in it, right, Scott?
Yep. Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. You know,
Yeah.
like the fan that I was saying, if you want to look into, it's called a can fan.
Right.
That's what a lot of the gardeners use for transferring air in grow spaces and stuff like that. And they work good. You can get some crazy CFMs out there to draw some shit. You can get some air movement in there. I've seen some ones that are like, no, maybe Jason will blow our hair back. I have no hair to blow back.
Oh man. All right. Do we have anything else, Jason? You've been a little quiet. Do you have anything you wanted to bring up?
Nothing further.
Nothing further.
You guys?
I think that.
Well, Scott, when do you want to do your thing?
Really, whenever. Not tomorrow night,
Okay.
because Tuesday nights I do the Tuesday and takeout.
All right, you let me know a day. I'll jump in whenever, even if these guys are busy, I'll jump in and say hi with you guys, talk to you people.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
And then
All right.
I will, I'll reach out to those two guys. I'll figure out the next 2 Thursdays schedule for us.
Sounds
Thank you.
great, Polly.
Thank
Thank
you
you very
very
much
much.
for that. You know, you can be our social coordinator any day.
Hey, man, I'm going to try as much as I can until I run out of my contacts. Then you guys are on your own.
That's fine.
Thank you.
I'm getting some feelers out there too to try to get some people in. So we'll see what happens. So.
Cool.
All right, fellas. I think we should probably
Yes.
All right,
go ahead, Polly.
Let's close up.
I was going to say, Dave said.
Close out?
Dave said he'll jump on anytime if he wants, if we want him to, too. So.
Oh,
send
thank
him
you.
too.
We'll take
Yeah.
them up on that. Absolutely.
Yeah. Love
All right.
that.
Yeah, you got his email now. Just start sending.
www.aniceplacetobrew.com. Social media, A Nice Place to Brew and Nice Place to Brew. Check us out every Monday and Thursday at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. End the show and we raise the glass. It takes a lot of good beer to make great beer. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.